Hello and welcome to the second episode with many more opportunities to learn from my mistakes. Welcome to Boonatix, the community for SimRacing beginners and enthusiasts alike. So this is the second episode after the first episode received tremendously amount of positive feedback. So thank you all so much for your kind words, for your positive feedback, and for actually keeping me really motivated to continue this series as soon as possible. So the past 2 weeks have been some up and downs with some good races and some not so good races, unfortunately. So of course, plenty of content again to check out what I have been doing wrong, where I could have done better, and how you can learn from these mistakes. If you're watching this video and enjoying the entertainment, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you have not done so far, please consider subscribing to my channel to not miss any of the upcoming videos that I have up my sleeve, as well as my next live streams. So let's just jump into the first video, which is me racing in the Camaro GT4 at Mount Panorama Bathurst, one of my favorite tracks with SimRacing XP. And this is the start, and again, had a good start, tried to keep my distance, but see what happens. I brake too late, bumped the BMW, which in turn he bumps into an Aston Martin, resulting into a huge spin for another driver. And at first I wasn't really sure what happened, but after watching the replay and getting a penalty for this incident, of course, I can now explain you what happened and what went wrong. So let's check it again in slower speed. So what actually happened is I had a really good start, just slowed down and short shifted a bit to not run into the traffic ahead. And then I started to apply the brakes, and I thought that I have enough space and released the brakes actually, but that was not enough. And at the moment I recognized it, it was already too late. So unfortunately resulting into a spin here. So if you watch again what I did with my brake pedal, you can really see what I mean. I start to apply the brakes right about here, and then I release them, and I actually don't know why I did that, because there is a tight first corner coming up. So this was really a mistake. I should have just kept the brake pressure on, and then probably 90% sure nothing would have happened. So it's like really, I can only again emphasize, and I'm not sure why I keep making these mistakes at the race start, but it's really important that you take it defensively at the race start and pay really much more attention, because your brakes are not on temperature, your tires are not that much on temperature, and you really need to be aware of what's happening. And since this incident, I've been really trying hard and focused even more on my start. So this is really crucial, especially for longer races that are more than 1 hour, like 2, 3, 4, or even long endurance races. Be steady at the start. Be aware of what happens around you, and just, you know, don't let too much of a gap open up at the start, but try to stay with the cars around you, but always be ready to brake, release the throttle earlier and brake a bit earlier than you usually would, to not result in any punting. The rest of this race on Mount Panorama was then really cool, very exciting. I had a perfect pit stop, exited the pits behind another Camaro who was struggling a bit more than myself, but I kept my distance and just waited for a mistake, and I thought, this is the mistake. He bumps into the wall, slows down, and I thought, this is the gap I can slip through, but it actually wasn't, and it resulted, unfortunately, in this spin. And at this moment I was really aggravated and actually angry at myself, because it is not a good idea to actually try a maneuver like that on the mountain, and I'm really not sure why I did that and why I pushed for the gap, but let's take another look and see what happened there. So I was trying my best to stay close with the Camaro in front and wait for an opportunity to overtake him. And as we have been going across the mountain section, I saw him struggling, going a bit wide, hitting the wall, and the first impulse was, this is the moment and this is my opportunity, and I swerved in expecting him to slow down more, but unfortunately this is not what happened. And what I then did was another mistake after the wrong decision of jumping in, is I apply the brakes. And what happens at this moment is just all the weight of the car is being thrown forward onto the front wheels, and I just, you know, completely compromised the balance of the car and sliding with the car just a tiny bit to the outside, while the Camaro at front is lifting and coming to the inside. And unfortunately we see this happening here. how my car keeps sliding. I can't hold the line. He's turning in, and unfortunately we are touching, and I'm spinning in out of the race. So what actually would have been the better solution here is to not even move in. It was just really an impulse from my side, thinking, oh, this is a good opportunity. He crashed the wall, he's slowing down, he might even go off track. And I just moved to the inside, and yeah, absolutely wrong decision. But after I did it, the next wrong decision was to apply the brakes. I should have just lifted even more and played with the throttle, you know, a little bit to keep rotating the car more to the inside. Because in a situation like this, it is always actually a bad idea to apply the brakes, as you will just unsell the car and slide it in the other direction where you actually want to go. So by just, you know, playing with the throttle, like lifting, pushing, just a tiny bit, I would have been able to keep a tighter line and we would have not touched. But on the other hand, it was also the other Camaro not looking at his inside, not seeing me, not being aware that I'm there, and just turning it in, because I'm pretty sure he was also a bit concerned to like go outside of the track and hit the grass and the gravel there, which would have then resulted in probably also losing control and crashing. So what that actually again reminded me about, and what actually that situation showed, is like there's so much that can happen in the heat of the moment. So try not to be too hard on yourself, because it happens to all of us. It happens to me. It happens to a lot of pro drivers as well. It's just that in the heat of the moment, you just might do the wrong decision, have the wrong reflex or the wrong impulse. It's just, you have to just start learning from that and not take it too hard on yourself. Never be too hard on yourself. Always look at the incident from an objective standpoint. Try to find out what happened and how you could improve that situation, or maybe how even you could have prevented the situation. Always, like, you know, it might still happen afterwards, and I'm pretty sure I will still keep on doing mistakes in the heat of the moment when you're probably losing a bit of concentration, or like, you know, want a bit too much. A good idea then probably is to always, like, if you get this urge and this feeling to be better and gain a position, and just, you know, because you deserve that position and you want it, take that as the opportunity to move a step back and like clear your head and like, okay, no, it's not worth it. I'm risking my position in the race and I'm risking to ruin the race for someone else. So just really take a deep breath, calm down, focus, and just, you know, keep it cool and actually finish the race. So to keep the video a bit shorter and not have it run too long for you, there's just one more, actually unfortunately really heavy incident that happened at Laguna Seca in the Bentley GT3, as we can see, going through the corkscrew with a Ferrari following me behind. I turn it in, he gets to the inside, I didn't see that, he spins me out. I go off track, and what happens now was really stupid, as you see right now. And I'm really embarrassed by that, because there was an absolute stupid and very unsafe rejoin, and I just want to show what happened there and yeah, why I did that, and the actually pretty simple way of how this could have been avoided. So if we look at the incident first with the Ferrari, I probably should have been aware that he might pull a move because he was so close to me, and I was struggling a bit to hold the line, just tapping the brakes a little bit, and that was already too much for him. So at this point, you know, I don't want to judge anyone. I just think maybe it's not such a good idea to dive into at this point, and to just, you know, keep a bit of the distance, stay close, but, you know, just use the drag to then dive to the outside and use it in the next right-hander. But then you can clearly see at this moment, when I'm trying to get out of the gravel pit, that the Porsche is coming. And now you might think to yourself, why did I just not wait? Yeah, I looked at the radar, I saw there was no dot coming up. I looked to the right and left the track, and yeah, was already too late. So in this situation, what actually would have been better is to put in the reverse gear, because the angle the car was having there was just not good. It was actually just looking into the wrong direction. And looking into the wrong direction when trying to go back on the track is actually, as we see, a really bad idea, because you need a long radius to actually rotate the car into the right direction. So what I should have done there, and what you should do if you ever are in the situation where your car is looking into the wrong direction and you are off track, put in the reverse gear turn it in, reverse backwards, that you are now looking into the direction of where you should be going, and then check your mirror or your track map if you use it, if there is any other car approaching, and slowly get back on track, but not on the ideal race line. If you are on the side of the ideal race line, it is even more important to check your mirrors, check the track map, and look back if any other car is going. So this, I just really have to apologize here. That was really, I think, one of my worst mistakes and one of my unsafest regions. So yeah, at this point, actually, race was done. I was basically, car was crashed. I headed into a pits, and what happened is actually I forgot to, you know, put in the pit limiter and got another drive-through, and then I just, you know, I just parked it in the pits to just not do any more stupid mistakes. So yeah, stuff like that happens, but it is more important to show that and to teach you to not do these mistakes, and also to help me get better and not do these kind of mistakes anymore. So that's it with the second episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to your feedback. If you have questions, just let me know in the comments below. And yeah, if you haven't done so far, please consider subscribing. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if it was helpful for you. And I see you the next time. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Bye bye.